We're headed into a little heat wave with a streak of days with highs in the 90s. I'll show you when a cold front finally comes through, cools us off, and brings us a small chance for rain.
Durham house fire. 3 firefighters were hurt putting out a fire that destroyed a $1 million home. How the home's solar panel system is to blame for one of the injuries.
Debate about data centers. The town of Apex is considering a temporary ban on development of the facilities. The chance you have tonight to share your thoughts. Possible new schedule. Today, Wake school leaders considering changes to your child's school calendar. How under-enrollment is causing the shakeup.
WRAL News at 8 on Fox 50 starts in about 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Your number one source for local news. This is WRAL, coverage you can count on.
Good morning, everyone. It is 8:01 on your Tuesday morning. Let's get things started with a pretty sunrise out there. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Ken Smith, and it's going to be another warm one out there today.
Oh, yes.
Feels comfortable now. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, tracking it all for us.
It looks nice, too. We do have a lot of sunshine out there. It'll be a bit of hazy sunshine like we saw yesterday, but there's no rain in sight. We have a southwesterly flow that keeps warming us up. Right now, that wind is at around 9 miles per hour, and we've jumped to 64. We started upper 50s to low 60s, and around 5:30 this morning, the rocket took off. Of course, the Falcon X rocket, SpaceX rocket there, and you can see that. Teresa took this shot of it from Benson. We got so many great pictures from WRAL.com/report it. Keep sending them if you have them. This one is from James Mullen in Wake Forest, and you can see it off in the distance. Some people weren't sure what it was, but yeah, it was that SpaceX rocket that took off from Cape Canaveral this morning. 59 in Roxborough right now, 61 in Fayetteville, a warm 64 in the Triangle and down in the Sandhills and Southern Pines. We warmed to 80 at lunchtime. We'll see a high of 88 this afternoon, but we have a string of highs well above and near record highs coming up. We'll talk more about that, Ken.
Well, that's been happening now. The WRAL Traffic Center, boy, we're going to start to the east of Raleigh. This is going to be a trouble spot on I-87 around the Smithfield Road interchange for at least the next 2 or 3 weeks. You can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is as a result of the complete 540 project where you have construction going on between Hodge Road and Smithfield Road. So you're going to be running into this for quite some time until at least the 30th. Right now, you're looking at a 19-minute delay. So if you're coming in from Nightdale, depending on where you are, coming in from all points east, Zebulon, Wendell, you might want to take Business 64 or Nightdale Boulevard as an alternate route. We're picking up a little bit of a slowdown coming in from Apex and US 1 North. You're looking at a 10-minute delay. Now, friends in Wake Forest, you're looking at a 14-minute delay in US 1 coming south. The southern loop of the Beltline, this is the morning congestion that we see on I-40 Lake Wheeler Road. You're looking at a 12-minute delay, so keep that in mind as you make your plans this morning. Give yourself some extra time. The northern loop of the Beltline, first responders are working across on I-440 westbound. We're on the Six Forks Road exit, causing some delays stretching all the way back to the I-440 interchange. You're looking at a 10-minute delay, so plan accordingly. You're getting ready to head into the Cartoonist Center on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
A busy traffic morning. Raleigh police are looking for a person responsible for a shooting that left a man seriously injured. Police received reports of shots being fired on Thelma Street just after 5:30 yesterday evening. The man who had been shot was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. We are working to get an update on his condition this morning. Still no word from police on a suspect. Anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers. You can find that number attached to this story on WRAL.com. In Durham, investigators are trying to figure out what started a devastating fire that destroyed a $1 million home. This took dozens of firefighters to bring the flames under control yesterday afternoon on Hillendale Road. 3 people suffered minor injuries, including one who was shocked by the solar panels.
We are trained on it, but it's something that we rarely actually deal with.
2 people were living in the home. The Red Cross is helping them find a place to stay.
Well, the man accused of several stabbings in downtown Raleigh over the weekend will be in court today. This is Frank Lelich. He is facing 4 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to seriously injure. Police say the stabbings happened after a fight involving several people broke out on Fayetteville Street early Saturday morning. 6 people in total were stabbed. Everyone who was hurt is expected to recover.
Today, the town of Apex will hear from the community about plans to pause data center development. WRAL's Adley Calabar joins us live from Apex Town Hall. Allie, this comes about a month after a developer changed their mind about building one in the area.
Yeah, Renee, we saw a lot of community pushback. That was actually a part of the reason why they shut down their plans to build a data center here. Now, today we are expecting to see community members show up in support of this temporary ban on data centers, but they do have some expectations for the town. So the town is holding a public hearing in Apex tonight. They're getting community input on putting a 1-year pause on data center developments. Apex Mayor Jacques Gilbert tells us this would allow the town to do more research. Last year, many people protested a new data center development. The developer then scrapped the plans in March. Michelle Hoffner O'Connor, a member of Protect Wake County, says that group members are going to be showing up tonight in red shirts. They want to see the town use this pause to make a thorough plan.
Our hope is not only that the town has the right amount of resources in place in terms of their own staff and their own volunteer-based efforts, but that they are also appropriately consulting appropriate experts.
Yeah, Apex is one of a handful of communities in our area that are leaning the same way. They're putting a 1-year ban on data centers so that they can do more research and get more understanding. Now, the town is having their public hearing at 6 o'clock. WRAL will be following this. Reporting live in Apex, Sally Calabar, WRAL News.
Also happening today in Sanford, the City Council will be talking about a draft rule set to establish data center land use regulations. It starts at 1 this afternoon. The meeting is open to the public, but there is no opportunity for a public comment period. Anyone wishing to give feedback and speak at the council's meeting, that's scheduled for April 21st.
We are following the latest developments in the war on Iran. The U.S. is hoping for a second round of peace talks after negotiations broke down the previous weekend. This also comes after the U.S. officially begins its blockade of Iranian ports in the Strait of Hormuz. A U.S. official says at least 15 ships, including an aircraft carrier and 11 destroyers, are in the Middle East right now. President Trump says he's received a call from Iranian officials saying Tehran wants to, quote, make a deal very badly. Sources say the countries are still talking and the U.S. discussing details for a possible second in-person meeting. We are also keeping an eye on gas prices across our area this morning. According to AAA, gas in Raleigh averages at $3.89 a gallon. That's a 2-cent drop from yesterday. In the Durham-Chapel Hill area, gas is a little higher at $3.95 a gallon. In Fayetteville, a gallon of gas is around $3.83.
Future school years could end up looking different for several Wake County schools. The board is considering changes to its calendars. Let's bring in WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. She's live outside the Wake County School headquarters in Cary this morning. And Kelsey, these changes are being considered because of lower enrollment in some schools.
Yes, Ken, that's exactly why they're being considered. So today, Wake school leaders will be meeting here at the district headquarters to talk about some possible changes to school calendars. The district is considering moving up to 6 schools from multi-track year-round schedules to traditional or single year-round track schedules. Multi-track year-round calendars are when students are divided into 4 groups, also called tracks. Now, here's what that means. 3 tracks are in school while 1 track is on break. That's designed to increase a school's capacity when there's an overcrowding issue. But these schools are actually under-enrolled. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst explains why multi-track year-round schools aren't as effective in eastern Wake County.
A lot of these changes have been concentrated in the last couple of years in eastern Wake County, where they expected all this growth, but then there were a lot of charter schools in eastern Wake County. Just a lot of different things have occurred in those areas, and the schools just haven't been as big as they were originally planned for.
Today's meeting is just a discussion about some of these potential changes. A vote wouldn't actually happen until next month. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll talk about how the rising cost of building new schools could end up requiring more taxpayer dollars. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Happening today, Raleigh leaders will get an update on the city's bus rapid transit system. At today's work session, the city council will look over a study tied to expansion in North Raleigh. The study examines two possible corridors that would connect downtown Raleigh to Midtown and Triangle Town Center. Today's work session will be at the city council chamber at 4 p.m. There will also be a public comment session at 7. Also happening today, North Carolina lawmakers plan to lay out the ways they want to improve methods for treating people with mental illness. A report will be released this morning from the State House Committee on Involuntary Commitment and Public Safety. The group started reviewing state laws and procedures after the death of Irina Zaruska. She was fatally stabbed on a Charlotte commuter train last year. Her suspected killer, DeCarlos Brown, was recently deemed incapable of proceeding in the trial. In their report, state lawmakers plan to include suggestions from law enforcement officers, judges, and medical professionals on better ways of treating people who have a history of mental illness. Check the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com for details. Congressional shakeup. 2 U.S. representatives are stepping down. The controversy surrounding those lawmakers as they prepare to leave office.
Also changing healthcare in the Triangle, how AI is affecting how healthcare workers interact with their patients.
And the next weather maker will be a cold front that arrives eventually. We do have some showers and thunderstorms well to our north and west, but it may be the weekend before we see this front. And I'll show you why it's probably not going to bring us very much rain coming up. 8:14. Did you see it? Were you up that early? At 5:30, the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket took off from Cape Canaveral down in Florida, and it was carrying 29, still is carrying 29 satellites, those Starlink satellites, which improve internet connectivity, especially in rural areas. A lot of people got photos and went to WRAL.com/reported and sent those to us. I love this one from Wayne Pegram from Benson. Just gorgeous. And then this one is from Larry Bass in Salemburg. And thanks for sending these photos. Anytime you have anything exciting going on or not, even if it's just, a pretty flower in your backyard, drop it to WRAL.com/reported. This is a live look at Dix Park, and things are pretty quiet at Gibson Play Plaza right now, but I have a feeling a little later on this morning that's going to be a busy place with their comfortable conditions. It will get a little hotter later this afternoon, but it's 64 in Raleigh right now, 63 in Wilson, and 62 in Goldsboro. At the park this afternoon, highs will climb into the upper 80s, and then we'll see a string of highs in the 90s. I'll let you know when that breaks coming up.
Well, it's been happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Just seconds ago, you missed a situation that was happening right there in the center lane right now. First responders were able to take those vehicles and move them off to the side of the road and get them off in the exit-only lane there on Lake Wheeler Road. You can see the huge backup is caused. It's right now looking at an 18-minute delay. That should get better over the course of the next few minutes since that situation just cleared. No delays if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County area at this hour.
Ken, thank you. New developments on Capitol Hill this morning. 2 different members of Congress are stepping down from their positions. First, in California, Democratic Representative Eric Swalwell announced he is resigning from Congress. This is after lawmakers on both sides of the aisle called on him to step down amid sexual assault and misconduct allegations. On Sunday, Swalwell ended his campaign for California governor. He is facing accusations from several staffers who worked for him, including one who says she was assaulted by him twice. Swalwell has denied the allegations. Texas Representative Tony Gonzalez says he is retiring from Congress as well. His decision comes as a House ethics investigation takes a closer look at his conduct. This stems from a past relationship the congressman had with a staffer who later died by suicide. Gonzalez says he will file for retirement when Congress returns. It's still unclear when he will officially leave office.
A Fort Bragg veteran is being placed under house arrest after being accused of leaking military secrets to a journalist. Courtney Williams has been formally indicted and will be under house arrest until her trial. She cannot have any contact with the media and no social media. According to the indictment, Williams exchanged hundreds of texts and had more than 10 hours of phone calls with the journalist, who ultimately published a book and article citing Williams as the source. Williams is quoted in The Fort Bragg Cartel, written by Seth Harp, detailing her experiences with sexual harassment and discrimination in the unit. The indictment says she specifically revealed true names of those in the special military unit, as well as the unit's tactics, techniques, and procedures during missions.
Artificial intelligence is changing healthcare on both the patient and the doctor sides. UNC hosted an AI for Good conference with one of the focuses on healthcare. Faster diagnoses, more options for treatments, and better precision in medicine are all goals underway right now at UNC. Director of Precision Health, Melissa Handel, explains that patients with rare diseases can be left waiting for years to get a diagnosis. She says AI can help.
Our goal is to put the patient back together again and realize all the data that we can using AI to bring that information to the point of care to improve diagnostics and allow us to apply the correct drugs at the correct time at the point of care.
And patients are also using AI. For example, some are asking ChatGPT about medical diagnoses. While those AI models can be helpful, experts encourage you to use discretion and talk to your doctor about what you find. Temperatures are challenging records over the next few days. Does this April heat wave mean that we have a bad summer ahead? Meteorologist Chris Michaels dug into the data for today's Ask the Meteorologist. What can we read in these tea leaves, Chris?
There's not much to read, to be honest with you. After looking at the data, it goes back to 1887. There have been 34 years in which we've seen the 90s in April. So out of those years, the following summer, it was kind of anybody's guess. 12 of the 34 were warmer than average. 6 of the 34 were close to average. 16 of the 34 were cooler than average. And then you factor in this whole El Nino talk that everybody's talking about. It seems to be at least the case on social media. So what you have with El Nino is warmer waters off the coast of Peru. It alters the jet stream in the eastern U.S. to where it usually favors a cooler and a wetter summer, which we would welcome with the drought that's going on. So El Nino data has only been kept since 1950. And any year where we had 90 degrees in April, the following summer, if there was an El Nino, it was either 4 of those were cooler than average or 2 were warmer than average. A lot of statistics that we're throwing your way. All that to say, the heat wave we got going on right now really doesn't tell us a whole lot about the upcoming summer. But Elizabeth, it is going to feel like summer without the humidity, at least, as we go through the rest of the week.
Definitely. I hope we get one of those cooler than normal summers. This last August was really nice. We had a cooler than normal August. It was great. But nothing cooler than normal about our weather for the next several days. We're looking at high temperatures up near records today all the way through Saturday. Then Sunday will be our next weather maker. We have a very small chance of a shower or thunderstorm. No drought buster here, but the temperatures will drop considerably. So this will be a big drop in our temperature, but it's not going to be a big rainmaker for us. A live look at Pittsburgh this morning, looking absolutely beautiful. Just a few clouds hanging there, lots of sunshine. A southwest wind at 9 miles per hour continues to push the warmth into our area. 64 is our current temperature right now. Our normal high is 72. I feel like, for the last while, it's just been so much warmer than normal, and that trend continues this week. 88 today, up to 94 on Saturday, and all of these numbers are somewhere close to a record. As a matter of fact, tomorrow we may end up or Thursday, I should say, we could tie the record at 91. Cold front's possible to come through. We have a cold front that'll approach us on Friday. It's not going to make it all the way into North Carolina. This one looks like it has just enough oomph to make it in, but it's not likely to bring us much rain. It should be a nice drop in our heat, however. This is a look at the current situation. You can see showers and thunderstorms up around the Great Lakes and into the Midwest, but our high pressure system sitting over us right now will hold all that back to the west. Watch the approach of this front, and then we pause it there at 5 a.m. on Friday, and that's it. done. High pressure system says you're not coming in here. But Saturday at 8 a.m., you can see that front. This one approaches the mountains early on Sunday morning. And at least this version of Futurecast does show a little bit of rain for us Sunday afternoon and evening. And then after that, some cooler temperatures. This is a look at our potential rainfall, though. And this version of Futurecast just doesn't show much accumulating rain for us out of that front. Here's a look at the big drop that happens Saturday, 94, with a high on Monday at 70. And Ken, I think that's going to feel good.
Oh, we're looking forward to that. It's some good news to report on that southern loop of the Beltline. There was an incident blocking that center lane just about a half hour ago. That's completely cleared. That's I-40 Lake Wheeler Road. But you can still see some lingering delays in that particular area. Right now, you're looking at a 20-minute delay stretching all the way back to the I-40, I-440 interchange. So keep that in mind. No delays whatsoever if you're coming in from the Garner-Johnson County area between Highway 36 and the Beltline. As for that northern loop of the Beltline, this is probably your best bet depending on where you're headed. You're just looking at an 8-minute delay. The bulk of the congestion is really between I-440 and the 87 interchange in Capitol Boulevard. And once you get past Capitol Boulevard, it's really clear sailing all the way over to the other side. So this is a live look at I-87 Smithfield Road. It's beginning to clear up just a bit, but flowing nicely in all directions.
Saving smart. Higher prices across the board can make it hard to save money and pay off debt. 5 Under Side explains some of the ways you can do both. Now remember, if you see breaking news, have a story tip, or take video or pictures of the weather where you are, please report it to us. Go to WRAL.com/report it. Send your video, pics, or tip to our news team.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
It is 8:26. Pretty start to our Tuesday, but this begins our stretch of some hot days. Let's get started with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It looks pretty there in Chapel Hill.
It does. Lots of blue sky here. You can see people with shorts and T-shirts already this morning, even though temperatures are in the 60s. It's just a nice start to the day. 64 in Raleigh, 63 in Roanoke Rapids, 61 Fayetteville, 63 in Goldsboro. We'll hit 80 by lunchtime, and then highs will climb into the upper 80s this afternoon. So if you're choosing morning versus afternoon for exercise, morning will be more comfortable. Then even at 7 o'clock, it'll still be in the mid 80s. Obviously, today will be dry. That'll be true at least through Saturday. Ken?
Elizabeth, monitors heavy congestion on that southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 and near the Lake Wheeler Road exit ramp. You can see the delays that's caused right now. It was an incident that cleared about 25 minutes ago. Right now, you're looking at a 16-minute delay, and it's getting better. It's jumped down to just an 11-minute delay. If you're coming in from Garner-Johnson County, no delays whatsoever between Highway 36 and the Beltline. Another update on your morning commute at the bottom of the hour.
Raleigh police are looking for the person who shot a man, seriously injuring him. This happened on Thelma Street yesterday afternoon at 5:30. The man was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. No word yet on how he is doing this morning. Tonight, the town of Apex is holding a public hearing on plans to pause data center development. Developers scrapped plans to build a data center in the area last month. Now they are moving forward with a 1-year pause on construction. That is, the town of Apex is. The public hearing is at 6. Next, WRAL putting a strain on farmers in the Triangle.
We're headed into a little heat wave with a streak of days with highs in the 90s. I'll show you when a cold front finally comes through, cools us off, and brings us a small chance for rain.
Durham house fire. 3 firefighters were hurt putting out a fire that destroyed a $1 million home. How the home's solar panel system is to blame for one of the injuries.
Debate about data centers. The town of Apex is considering a temporary ban on development of the facilities. The chance you have tonight to share your thoughts.
Rising cost of construction. Wake County Schools is facing growing price tags for building new schools and renovating older ones. How taxpayers are footing the bill for the district's plans.
Lots of news to get to this half hour, so appreciate your time. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Renee Chu. First, get ready for some summer temperatures. At least it won't feel humid, but still pretty early to be feeling this warm in April. Let's get to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, where the Durham Bulls are preparing for a homestand.
They're 11 o'clock game today, and it's going to feel like summer there, that's for sure. Highs will be in the upper 80s. The only thing that really keeps it from feeling like July is our humidity will be on the low side. So if you're in the shade, it should be pretty comfortable there as we get into the afternoon. Our temperature, of course, 64, and our wind is coming out of the southwest at around 9 miles per hour. So it's a comfortable breeze. It's a warm breeze since it's coming out of the southwest. 61 in Roxborough, 63 Goldsboro, 64 in Southern Pines, and we have a nice warm up this afternoon. We'll climb to 80 by lunchtime, and our high will be in the upper 80s around 4 or 5 o'clock. And of course, sun starts to set around 8, and even then temperatures will be in the 80s. So we don't see a big cool down later on in the evening, but we do have some cooler temperatures ahead for early next week after a front on Sunday. We'll talk more about that in just a bit, Ken.
Elizabeth, we're staying on top of the usual morning congestion that we see this time of the morning on that southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. These are the westbound lanes coming toward us this morning. And right now, you're looking at an 11-minute delay. Things are getting better. That was up to 18 minutes about a half hour ago. So things are getting better on that southern loop of the Beltline. No delays whatsoever if you're coming in from Gardner, Johnson County between Highway 36 and the Beltline. As for that northern loop of the Beltline, the heaviest congestion is really between the I-40, 440, 87 interchange and Capitol Boulevard. Once you get past Capitol Boulevard, it's clear sailing all the way to 40. Right now, you're looking at an 8-minute delay on that northern loop of the Beltline. So depending on where you are, you might want to hit that northern loop and avoid the southern loop for right now. The other troubled spot is to the east of Raleigh, I-87 Smithville Road. This is a continuation of the complete 540 project between Hodge Road and Smithville Road. And this is what you're going to be running into at least until April 30th. So plan accordingly. And depending on where you are this morning, you might want to use Business 64 or Nightdale Boulevard. Right now, you're looking at an 8-minute delay coming in from Nightdale, an 11-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest and US 1 South. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Raleigh police are looking for the person responsible for shooting that left a man seriously injured. Police say they received reports of shots being fired on Thelma Street just after 5:30 yesterday evening. When they got there, they found a man who had been shot. He was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. We spoke with the man who has lived in that neighborhood for 40 years. He says incidents like these are no longer shocking, and he says the violence has reached a breaking point.
I can't even get out here and cut the yard because you're not.
We've reached out to Raleigh police for an update on the condition of the man who was hurt and if there is a suspect in the case. Anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers.
Well, the picture you just saw on the screen was the man accused of stabbing several people in downtown Raleigh over the weekend. He will be in court today. That was Frank Lalich. He is facing 4 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to seriously hurt. Police say the stabbings happened after a fight broke out involving several people on Fayetteville Street early Saturday morning. 6 people in total were stabbed. Everyone who was injured is expected to recover. Investigators in Durham are trying to figure out what started a fire that destroyed a $1 million home. It took dozens of firefighters to bring that fire under control yesterday afternoon on Hillendale Road. 3 firefighters suffered minor injuries, including one who was shocked by solar panels. 2 people who were living in the home, they got out safely. The Red Cross is helping them find a place to stay.
Today, the town of Apex will hear from the community about plans to pause data center developments. WRAL's Ali Calabar explains how this comes about a month after a developer changed their mind about building one in the area.
And we saw community pushback shut down plans for a data center. And today we're expecting to see community support for a temporary ban on data center developments. Now, the town of Apex is having a public hearing tonight. They're getting community input on putting a 1-year pause on data center developments. Apex Mayor Jacques Gilbert tells us this would allow the town to do more research. Last year, many people protested a new data center development. The developer scrapped the plans in March. Michelle Hoffner O'Connor, a member of Protect Wake County, says group members will be showing up tonight in red shirts. They want to see the town use the pause to make a thorough plan.
I really want to see as much engagement and involvement with people as possible to ensure that everything is being covered appropriately. I think many hands make for light work.
Apex is one of a handful of communities in our area that is moving forward with putting a temporary ban on data centers. Now that public hearing is tonight at 6. WRAL will be following. Reporting in Apex, Allie Cadlebar, WRAL News.
Allie, thank you. Sanford City Council is holding a work session today to discuss data center land use regulations. It starts at 1 this afternoon. The meeting is open to the public, but there will not be a public comment period. Anyone who wants to share feedback can do so at the council's meeting next Tuesday. We have done a lot of reporting on data centers in recent weeks. You can learn more about how data centers could reshape the energy grid, the concerns about higher costs, and the potential impacts on the environment. It is all on the WRAL YouTube page.
Pakistan wants to host a second round of peace talks between the U.S. and Iran in the coming days before the ceasefire expires. This comes after President Trump issued another warning for Iran yesterday. He said if a peace deal is not reached by the end of the ceasefire, that it won't be pleasant for them. Those are his words. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is also set to take part in negotiations between Israel and Lebanon today. Those talks are set to focus on security for Israel's northern border and support Lebanon's push for full sovereignty. Also, President Trump taking down the AI-generated image he posted depicting him as Jesus Christ. The president defended his post while others say it was unacceptable.
It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better.
I think the president is trying to walk it back and trying to put a different spin on it, which I think is a recognition on his part that he probably overstepped or went too far.
The White House did not say why the post was taken down. This comes during a clash between the president and Pope Leo. Other Catholic leaders have said the president owes the Pope an apology.
We are getting an update on gas prices here locally. According to new data from AAA this morning, in Raleigh, the average is $3.89 a gallon. Wilson County has the cheapest average in our area at $3.79 a gallon. And Warren County has the highest average at $4 even a gallon. To find the best gas prices near you, check out the WRAL Fuel Tracker. Go to WRAL.com, search fuel.
Well, the cost of school construction is rising quickly. Today, Wake County School Board leaders will take a closer look at the challenges they're facing. Let's get to WRAL's Allie Cadlebar live outside the Wake County Schools headquarters in Cary. And Kelsey, this increase in cost is a big issue as the district works to build new schools and renovate others.
Absolutely, Ken. So the cost to build a new school is up 40 to 50% from just 5 years ago, according to new state data. That's why today school leaders will be meeting here at the district headquarters to talk about what those numbers actually mean. So school systems are paying tens of millions of dollars more to build new schools, and in many cases, taxpayers are footing the bill through school bonds. Today's discussion comes just a week after the board voted to ask county commissioners to put a $680 million bond on the November ballot. The bond would pay for capital costs like new buildings, but it would mostly cover renovations. WRAL Education Insider Emily Walkenhorst explains how school districts have to adjust plans for building new schools to account for extra costs.
Now the school districts themselves are looking at, well, what can we afford? What can our tax base afford? And they're making plans based on that. And maybe some of those plans aren't the ideal of what they would like to do just because the cost is so high.
School leaders will not only be talking about the breakdown of how it's just more expensive to build new schools, they'll also talk about possible changes to school calendars. So if you want more information, head to WRAL.com. Just click the education section. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, I'm in Cary.
A juvenile is charged with making a false report of an active shooter at a Granville County high school. The Granville County Sheriff's Office responded to a call about an active shooter yesterday at J.F. Webb High School. Deputies determined that call was a prank. The kid is charged with making a false report concerning mass violence on educational property.
More charges could be filed against a teenager accused of crashing a stolen car into a home in Zebulon. Police say Cartier Farmer was speeding when he crashed into a home on West Franklin Street around 3 o'clock in the morning. The house then caught fire. Video from Drone 5 shows that incident after that fire was out. 5 people and 2 cats were inside. They were able to get out safely.
The judge who sentenced Raleigh mass shooter Austin Thompson to life without parole is sharing more about his decision. In a court filing, Judge Paul Ridgway said Thompson's crimes reflect permanent incorrigibility and irreparable corruption. Thompson pleaded guilty earlier this year to killing 5 people in the Hedingham mass shooting. A civil case goes to trial this summer.
Today, William Peach University and Durham Tech are announcing a new transfer pathway program. It will give Durham Tech students a special tuition rate when transferring to William Peace. If they meet program requirements, they'll be automatically admitted without an application fee. They will also remain eligible for financial aid assistance. An announcement is scheduled around 10 o'clock this morning.
The Carolina Hurricanes lost last night, but they still have something to celebrate. The team clinched the #1 spot during yesterday's overtime loss against the Philadelphia Flyers. This means the Canes will have home ice advantage in the Eastern Conference during the playoffs. Tonight, the Canes play the New York Islanders to wrap up the regular season. Playoffs begin Saturday at Lenovo Center. Coming up, severe drought. Still no end in sight to the drought, the strain it is putting on local farmers.
Also, save smarter, dump debt faster. 5 on your side, sharing the 2 ways you can save money and pay off your debt quicker than you thought.
And our next weather maker is way back to the west. The showers and storms you see to our north and west won't make it here because of high pressure. That same high pressure system is really going to heat things up. We'll talk about the pattern going forward for the next 2 days coming up. And we're looking at Chapel Hill right now. It looks beautiful. Everybody that I see walking around up and down Franklin Street and Columbia Street have their shorts and T-shirts on. It's maybe a smidgen cool for that. Right now we're in the low to mid 60s, 61 Fayetteville, 64 Roanoke Rapids, 63 in Rocky Mount. But boy, this afternoon it's going to feel nice. At lunchtime, 80 degrees. I mean, that's going to be wonderful, especially because we won't have much humidity today. So take advantage of that during your lunch hour if you can. And if you're one of those parents who has to take the kids to practice after school, it is going to be warm. Between 4 and 5 o'clock, it'll be around 88 degrees, but it doesn't cool off much. At 7 o'clock, it's 85, but in the shade, it should feel pretty comfortable. Ken?
Elizabeth, checking the morning commute. That southern loop of the Beltline still remains a trouble spot this morning. As we look live at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road, these are the westbound lanes coming toward us this morning. Right now, you're looking at a 10-minute delay. It's actually getting better. It was up to like 15, 18 minutes a little while ago. But if you're coming in from Gardner, Johnston County, no delays whatsoever between Highway 36 and the Beltline at this hour.
Ken, thank you. High prices, rising fuel costs, elevated inflation. It may feel impossible to save money and get ahead of credit debt. 5 on your side's Alex Littlehales shares 2 key strategies to save smarter and pay off debt faster.
The Federal Reserve is holding interest rates steady, and cuts may not come anytime soon. This affects everyday things like credit card bills, mortgages, student payments, car loan payments. So how do you stay ahead? Experts say focus on 2 things: saving smarter and paying down debt faster. For savings, look for high-yield, low-risk options. Compare rates at banks, credit unions, and brokerages to make sure your money is earning as much as it can. You can leave your money alone for a while. CDs may help you stay ahead of inflation. If you need more flexibility, money market funds or short-term treasuries can offer competitive yields, with some maturing in as little as 3 months. Another plus for treasuries, the interest is exempt from state and local taxes. If you're carrying credit card debt, a 0% balance transfer could give you up to 21 months without interest. You can also try negotiating a lower rate with your credit card company, especially if you have a strong payment history. The bottom line, paying down debt can help your credit score, lower your borrowing costs, and free up money to spend. I'm Alex Littlehales, 5 on your side.
Well, the growing debate over data centers is now front and center in Wendell. Town leaders holding a meeting on the topic last night. The town now has a moratorium on data centers in place until December 31st. This buys town leaders time to learn about the potential impact of construction. Although there have been no applications for data centers in Wendell, many people expressed opposition to them at last night's meeting.
Where's the money coming from? Who's running these things? Nothing you read says that they do a lot of hiring. They just do a lot of polluting and taking your resources.
Well, the Siemens facility in Wendell makes parts for data centers, but there are no plans to build a data center there.
Most of North Carolina, including Raleigh, is under a severe drought. You may have noticed in your yards, in your garden already. Farmers are certainly feeling it. More than 3/4 of the state is in a severe drought. In 17% of the state, the drought is considered extreme. It doesn't just affect the amount of water, but also the quality, and it's putting a strain on anyone with livestock. Some farmers in our area are having to make tough choices about whether to plant their crops.
But the calendar still rolls on and on and on, so we can't wait too long for that. So we're going to take a chance, hoping that the moisture in the ground is adequate enough for us to go ahead and plant our tobacco and soybeans. Says no moisture. Zero.
Driest February on record since 1885. That's according to the National Integrated Drought Information System. If nothing changes in the next few weeks, some farmers tell us they'll be in trouble. Honoring big names in music.
Yeah, these are some big ones on a new adaptation of a classic book. Let's take a look at what's trending. Netflix releasing the trailer for its new Little House on the Prairie series. It will be a new look at the frontier based on the beloved books written by Laura Ingalls Wilder. The books also inspired the hit series from the 70s and 80s. The new series will be released on Netflix in July. I remember very well watching that series.
Yeah, and they have big shoes to fill because that series was so wonderful with Michael Landon and Melissa Gilbert and all that. But they're bringing it back for new generations.
Looking forward to it.
A new group of music legends heading to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this fall. 18 artists will be in this year's class. Some of the names include Sade, Luther Vandross, Wu-Tang Clan, Billy Idol, and Oasis. Celia Cruz, Queen Latifah, and Ed Sullivan will also be honored at the ceremony, and that will be on November 14th in Los Angeles.
Oh, Luther Vandross, Sade.
That's a legends. A lot of genres, so
Exactly.
that would be quite the playlist right there. Yeah. Let's get to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. And the playlist for today would be hot, hot, hot.
Yeah, so the playlist over here at the Durham Bulls is actually Education Day. They do it 3 times. It's an 11 o'clock game, but before the game, you can't see it because it's on this side of the stadium. They have a bunch of trucks like fire trucks, and they have a lot of science exhibits and that sort of thing for kids to see, and then they get to enjoy the ball game. And so they're going to be looking at a nice day for that. Right now it is 64 degrees. Our winds southwest at 9 miles per hour. We climb to about 80 by lunchtime. It's 60 in Holly Springs, 65 in Cary and Knightdale, and 60 degrees in Wake Forest right now. Around town, yep, it's going to be warm. Our temperatures just keep on gradually climbing. Upper 80s today. We'll be in the low 90s for much of the remainder of the week until Saturday, when it'll be even hotter. And of course, big zeros on our chance for rain all the way through Saturday. There is a small chance on Sunday. That'll be the next front that makes it into our area. But look at the deficit that we have right now. The brown area, this is a look at the map of how much rain we would need within a month period to end the drought. And it's almost 10 inches in the triangle. It's almost 9 inches in our northern counties. It's about almost 9 inches to the south there. But look at this, gosh, Moore County is at about 12 inches. So we desperately need a whole lot of rain, and it's hard to get, 8 or 9 inches in a month unless you're this time of year when when we typically see wetter conditions, or if you have a tropical system come through. And 8 or 9 inches with a tropical system causes widespread flooding, so we don't want that either. This high pressure system is keeping us warm and dry. The lack of rain continues all the way through Saturday, and we'll see temperatures near record highs today all the way through Saturday. This is tomorrow, hitting 91. That, if we hit it, that'll be the first 90-degree day that we've seen so far at RDU this year. Notice this cold front looks like it's heading our way on Friday, and it just fizzles out. This high says, oh no, you're not coming here, and forces it to the north. But finally, Saturday into Sunday, we have a chance of a shower or thunderstorm. It's not likely to bring us a whole lot of rain. Saturday is going to be really hot, 94. That's only 1 degree from the record of 95. Sunday, only a 30% chance of storms behind Sunday's front. We're cooler Monday with a high of 70.
Elizabeth, thank you. Before we go to break, here's a look at the North Carolina Education Lottery numbers.